how to choose the dark and light body colours. We have selected our main body colour. We're going to look at the darker and lighter colours in the range. So the darkest area is this form shadow, which is a depression from this shoulder blade that runs down here. And there's a few darker areas along the back here and the neck. And then we've got some lovely light areas. But again, they're all remaining in those nice warm tones. So we'll have a look now at our colour palette. So now we have our main body colour pretty much sorted. We're going to look at the darker range for those darker areas in the form shadow. So I'm going to use burnt sienna here. So it's a warm reddy brown, and it's going to just mix nicely with either of these two colours. So the terracotta and the burnt ochre. And to darken again, I would go to the burnt umber. So it's all in keeping, they're all on the warmer tones, and they're all going to mix really nicely. If we used black, we would get in all sorts of trouble. This colour is very warm, and black is just a very flat, cold colour, and straight away you can see that's just awful. It's the same as we choose our lighter colours, and we'll drift into something like this light yellow ochre. Again, it's very close to both these colours. It's a lovely warm yellow. And if we pop it over here and try and darken it with the black, the same thing's going to happen. You can see straight away it's just going to form an ugly, muddy colour because the black's just too cold and dark. So you need to get this lovely transition of colours happening, and do it gradually. And all these colours will intermix. So we can see that this light yellow ochre is going to work well. So to lighten it even more, we can move into our warm greys. And I'm going to just jump to the warm grey one here. And you can see again it's going to mix nicely. If you want to lighten that yellow ochre, you can put the warm grey underneath and just lightly. So all these colours will be mixed in some shape or form together, and you can see here they're all going to mix really well. Another colour we could add is this brown ochre. So it's sort of going to sit in the middle here. Again, it's going to be a really nice complement to all these colours because it's in that lovely warm range, and it will mix with all of these and not look out of place. So this process is really important in selecting your colours. Always trial them and make sure they're all going to work together. So now looking in more detail at our lighter colours, we can see we're moving from this lovely rich reddy brown, which would probably be a mix of the terracotta with a bit of burnt sienna in it, move down through the burnt ochre into the light yellow ochre, and then we drift down here mixing the yellows into with our warm greys. But we sort of are coming now into these shadow colours of the tufts of fur. So most of them are quite a warm grey, especially through here. This is a very lovely warm grey, and this is happening because it's picking up this ambient ambient light and reflected light from the ground. So it's quite warm in there. And so I would be selecting the warm greys right through 1, 2, 3, 4 to establish the colours with a bit of the yellows and browns in there as well. But as we move through here, we're starting to get a few of the cooler greys happening. So we just have a look at our colour palette now. Now looking at the light colours on the tiger again, drifting down from the light yellow ochre, again a lot of it's application. You know, always be very conscious of your pressure, keep your pressure light, and that way, you know, if you make an error, it's easier to erase, and again you're preserving the tooth of the paper and you can build up multiple layers. So light pressure. As we move into our greys, this is warm grey 1, and I like to use the white of the paper to lighten a colour. You know, it's the brightest white you're going to get, and just by using light pressure on top of your white paper, you're going to get lovely light colours. So if I start to use a bit more pressure, this grey will become, you know, darker. So then we can also just jump to warm grey 2. Get a little bit more pressure there and get it a bit darker. And also warm grey 3. So all these colours are within that tiger in those shadow colours. And within these, so within the warm grey, just we'll use the light so that it's easier to demonstrate. Warm grey 1. We can not only mix a bit of the yellow, but we can also mix a bit of the brown ochre on top. And we can also mix a bit of the terracotta. Again, light pressure till you get the right colour. These are just going to warm up some of these shadow areas if you need to. And you can keep going with those greys till you get the right colour that you need.